So, Mike, can you talk about how sometimes people have really good evidence on one hand, but hoax things on the other hand? Does that happen ever in the Bigfoot world?
It happens way too many times, actually. And there's some fairly famous Bigfooters that of course, have been labeled as hoaxers who may have actually had some genuine experiences. Of course, Ivan Marks, for example, was probably the most famous of these men. Ivan Marks was quite a woodsman. He was very capable, and he used to do wildlife photography, and he would take film of bears and other animals in the wild, cougars, things like this, and he'd sell his photography to companies that dealt with wildlife documentaries and things like that, and he would be hired by these people from time to time to get footage. So it's not like he was incapable of doing that. However, 99% of the Bigfoot footage that he has, and believe me, he's got a lot of it, because I have some myself that I picked up over the years, stuff that Mark shot that's never been made public, that I'm aware of, and I've looked at dozens of different videos, and every single one of them is obviously a person in a costume. But I would suggest that even Ivan Marks, who is a pretty notorious hoaxer, could very well have had some genuine Bigfoot encounters or events. And, he's also hooked up with the Bossberg Cripple, and the Bossberg Cripple is a very famous set of footprints that indicated a Bigfoot with some kind of a foot pathology, and both Grover Krantz and Dr. Jeff Meldrum have authenticated these tracks, and yet Ivan Marks was very much involved in that episode, so much so that he actually produced a fake video of what he called the Bossberg Cripple, a film actually, and he tried to sell it. And it was a very obvious hoax, and it was associated with the Bossberg tracks. And yet here are these scientists who point to those tracks as proof of Bigfoot, and actually proof that Bigfoot has a foot that's different than a human foot. These were the tracks that led to that conclusion. So that's a very prime example of somebody who could very well have had some genuine evidence, but also perpetrated hoaxes. And it's an understandable kind of thing, because here you are, you go out in the woods, for example, you have a Bigfoot experience, and then you try to share that information with friends and relatives, and they all laugh at you, and they make jokes incessantly, and they treat you like you're some kind of an idiot. And what happens is most people just stop talking about it. But some people, Marks, for example, and another man I think named Paul Freeman, they respond potentially by deciding to try and get people to take them more seriously and give them a little credit, and they might fudge some evidence, And we're taught in psychology about cognitive dissonance, the idea of being aware that we're telling a lie makes most of us not tell the lie. But if you can somehow remove the cognitive dissonance of the lie by convincing yourself that lie is important or essential, or it's going to save lives or something, then you can go ahead and make the lie and not feel guilty about the lie. And I think that some of these Bigfoot characters that have been involved in hoaxing have had genuine Bigfoot events. They know in their heart that Bigfoot is real, and they decide, well, it's okay for me to fake a little bit of evidence, or to augment the evidence, or to confabulate the story by borrowing from some other story or others that I've read and putting them all together and create a greater story that might be more convincing. And this happens, and I see it all the way from, like I say, Marks, Freeman, and there are others out there who have had stories that are outrageous, that most people say are completely hoaxes, that I think may have actually involved some reality. But the reality gets clouded, just like the old story of the little boy who cries wolf. I mean, you cry wolf too often, and then when the real wolf comes, nobody believes you. And so if you've got fake evidence that you mix with your real evidence, and the fake evidence becomes clear, well, then your real evidence is no longer accepted. So it's very problematic, and I think it happens a lot in Bigfoot research.